What is going on, Metaverse? Animositas here with Annie Knows, and a clip from the latest episode of our Gaming on the Block podcast. The full episode is linked in the description below, so make sure to check it out. So with no further ado, let's see what Annie and my co-host know about Web3 gaming. So the tweet from Robbie Ferguson and the Immutable X team is that their business development team has brought in 5 major games in the last 7 days. They've got further announcements coming soon for what those are. And I think their position is that Web3 gaming, so the amount of AAA Web3 games are going to go from less than 10 to hundreds in the next 12 to 18 months. And I think that's true as well. One thing that I'd like to actually share is from a video that I put together recently, there are several sites that are available online that will show you the investable capital that's flowed into the Web3 gaming space over the past several years. And in one of the podcasts that I did recently, I shared how many games are going to be launching by genre. And obviously, this is a forecast. Game development studios are notorious for delays. But what I did is I took the average development life cycle for projects, and I ran it up against the publicly available information on Chainplay. And in that, you're able to see how many games are going to launch per genre. And so not able to
Do you have some numbers on that?
Yeah. So I've got 300 games that have been funded at larger than $1 million over the past 2 years, right?
That's
so
crazy.
300 games. And if you look across the different genres, essentially, I'm very much in the same mindset that Robbie and the IMX team is. Starting in the middle of 2023, you basically got launch after launch after launch for the next 2 years that are just going to be running. And you're going to see game after game hit the marketplace. Some of them, honestly, are not going to be good, and they're going to flame out and die. That's the same as in Web 2, though, right? There's no reason that that you're not going to have a lot of failures. But even if you only have 10 to 15% of those that succeed, you're talking about 40 to 50 Web3 games that are launching in the next 2 years that are going to have large player bases.
With those games, because the one of the main points that I kind of noticed about Robbie's tweet. So the thing with his tweet was he's saying that there's less than 10 AAA games right now. In the next 12 to 18 months, it's going to be more hundreds. AAA is like a pretty big tag, right? So I don't know, like Annie, out of all those 300 that you sell, that you kind of mentioned that with $100 million, with $1 million in capital raised. Would $1 million in capital raise put that in that AAA space? I'm actually not too sure.
No, definitely not. So so what I would say is that my expectation, anything that's 5 million plus would have a legitimate chance to be able to deliver a title. And that, these are also in many cases just the initial funding round. And so oftentimes, you'll see a few million to get a studio up and running, and then you'll see a secondary capital raise that's going to kind of carry them all the way to launch. So my guess is that potentially there could be up to 30 to 40 of those that could claim a title of a AAA game when they do launch. And many of those are also going to have longer lead times than the smaller games, just because their vision is is larger. And so we can expect a lot more of those, I think, in 2024 rather than 2023. But I think the general sentiment is true. And so overall, even if his timeline's a little bit optimistic, I think he's got the right directionality in his statement by far.
Yeah. Because I think Will, go for it.
Go ahead.
Nah, go for it, Will.
I was just gonna say it's really cool, because I was wondering, when he tweeted out, what's he actually basing that off of, But it's cool to see you back that up with facts and real legit speculation there, Annie.
Yeah, I think the whole idea of I don't know, again, because I'm not gonna lie, Annie is definitely the numbers guy between us three. I'm more of a kind of let me use my logic and kind of see what's going on. I think with the tweet of hundreds of AAA games between 12 to 18 months, I think that's a bit excessive. I think we can look at maybe 50 to 80, give or take. I think under the 100 mark, because AAA is not a. And also, with that tweet, is he speaking about it being released? Is he speaking about it being in development, right? Is that early stage development? Is that late stage development? There are a lot of variables that we have to consider. So With that,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, there you go.
let's pump the brakes just a little bit, right? There aren't
Yeah,
100 AAA games in Web 2 that are out right now that are
Yeah, I
major
was gonna
games, right?
exactly. I was gonna
So
say.
I think hundreds is a little bit of an overstatement if we're
yeah,
going to use the AAA tag. There are certainly
yes,
hundreds of Web3 games that will launch in the next couple of years, and there will be
yeah,
maybe a statement of a couple dozen, dozen or 2 dozen that will
yeah.
truly claim AAA titles. Yo, that clip was awesome. If you all appreciated it, give me a like or subscribe, and make sure to head over to TSG's channel, the link is in the description below, to catch the rest of the full episode.